Hey everybody, and welcome back to What the F Fridays.
Yay.
Here on Indie Film Cafe. As we like to call it, it's the movies that you can't show Jen.
Right.
And this is a movie that we can't show Jen.
Oh dear.
It's a movie that Paul knows about it. I think he might have a clue in his head because I mentioned it to him before and stuff, and he says he does own this movie and everything. But it's a little movie called Killer Condom. Yay. It's
fun.
a trauma movie, and it is definitely a what the F. So Trauma Productions does movies that nobody else will take.
Push the envelope.
They push the envelope, or they used to, really. I don't know how they are now. They don't take as many movies these days, it doesn't seem.
No.
They kind of mainly...
They're kind of winding down.
Oh, they also got a huge library already of films, so, I mean, whatever. But hopefully...
Lloyd's getting up there.
Even so, maybe they'll pass the torch and somebody else can take over and start to make sure that trauma lives on and keeps the independent spirit alive.
Now that Jess is a Tromette, maybe she'll take over.
Or maybe she can put a word for us and we can take over.
That'd be great. We'd be worthy.
I don't think that'll be the case.
We're trauma worthy. Come on.
I think you have to be sort of already in trauma to be able to for them to do that. But I'm just saying, just throwing that out there, Lloyd.
Yeah, but
Lloyd, you met us.
And me, we've probably seen 90% of their catalog.
Yeah, between you and me, yes, exactly. I've probably seen all the ones you don't want to see, and you've seen all the ones I don't want to see. You know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'll agree. But yeah, Killer Condom, I can't wait to rewatch. I have not seen this movie since I saw it on video or DVD or whatever it was years ago from my video store. So I don't even remember half of it.
You sure you don't want to do the other trauma movie, the Actium Maximus? I know you like that one.
We've already done that one, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. We can do it again. I know you want to watch it again.
Yeah, it's not a What the F Friday, though. It's a What the Boring Friday.
True.
You know? Anyway, this one is a What the F Friday. So enjoy, and we'll be right back to talk to you about this movie. So,
Yay.
All right, bye. We're done. So we're back again, and yeah, I hadn't seen it. I don't even know if I ever actually did see it. Now that I've rewatched it.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought I rented it from the video store, because we had one of our video stores at Movie Scene. We had this guy who bought like all these random movies that nobody else would rent. You know.
Sounds like me.
Killer. Oh yeah, you would love Ed. Ed was great. But he would get like Killer Condom and things like that nobody had ever heard of.
This is a 4K. I can't believe this movie came out in 4K. A movie that was put out by Troma in 4K.
So Vinegar Syndrome has this thing where they have a deal with Troma. So what they do like to do, and I looked it up on ChatGPT, apparently Vinegar Syndrome is known mainly for like finding movies like this that are going to be destroyed. Nobody else is going to pretty much do this. You know, maybe...
Anybody else feeling weird that you found that out through ChatGPT?
Why?
Shouldn't you be looking at Google or Wikipedia?
I was asking them about all the boutique places.
They're taking over. It's taking over. It's Skynet.
That's so fine.
Now they're taking over independent movies.
No, they just know about it. They know what it is.
They know too much.
I don't care. It's okay. It is weird, dude. You gotta get used to it, man. AI is coming. It's gonna stay for a while. Yeah. If you don't like it, then I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do.
Sooner I go to Europe and find a little village with nothing but stones in the area, the happier I'll be.
Yeah,
I'm a Luddite.
And then you'll be missing the internet, so you'll want to get back on it, and then AI will.
Look how many movies I got. I got movies this last the rest of my life.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, but you wouldn't be able to get something like Long Legs because you wouldn't be able to use the Amazon to get it.
Fortunately, I've got it.
right now, but there'll be something like that and something else like that that you need to watch.
I already discovered there are 3 Amazon centers, distribution centers in Italy.
All right. Anyway,
so I'm good.
Anyway, so Killer Condom. To go back to it, wow, you are blowing up today. He's been getting messages and other things all day today, and he thought it was me.
Because usually you're the only one.
Because usually the only one who bugs him, and then now he's getting bugged by other people all day. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna continue going on about Killer Condom. So on the back of it says, in one of the seediest parts of Midtown Manhattan, strange things are going down at the aptly named Hotel Quickie.
Hotel Quickie.
The male patrons who use this establishment as a playground for their sexual whim are mysteriously getting their genitals bitten off, with bizarre claims abounding about a carnivorous condom. Hey, if they didn't want to call it Killer Condom, carnivorous condom sounds great too. On the loose.
Rapid rubber.
Carnivorous condom on the loose. Assigned to this peculiar case, a Sicilian, so you got your Italian stuff, born cop, Luigi Macaroni.
Yeah, ravenous rubber would have been the other good title for that.
Is initially skeptical, but the matter soon becomes intensely personal when, during an encounter at the hotel with a young rent boy, he himself is attacked by one of the man-eating prophylactics. Jesus Christ. You're going to use as many condom terms and stuff as they can. And stuff. Losing a testicle in the process. It quickly transpires that the Big Apple is being besieged by an entire army of ravenous rubbers. And Killer Condom, ravenous rubbers, carnivorous, whatever. Oh. Macaroni must work to crack this case before the emasculation epidemic escalates. Based on the best-selling adult comic books by Germany's Ralph Koenig, I don't know how you say it, Martin Waltz's Killer Condom is a delirious horror comedy in the vein of Frankenlader.
That's definitely has basket case vibes.
By way of film noir and featuring gag-inducing special effects by notorious splatter master Georg
Butenberg. Necromantique.
Yep. And he did the special effects
Der
too.
Toten King, all that.
Along with Academy Award winner H.R. Geiger from Alien and Species, serving as creative consultant. Finally unleashed in its never-before-released director's cut, in addition to the theatrical version, and newly restored in 4K from its original camera negative by the mad celluloid scientists at Vinegar Syndrome, Killer Condom crawls up the sewers in its worldwide UHD debut, endowed with a girthy array of both brand new and archival extras, offering film fans plenty to sink their teeth into. Yeah. We'll get into that stuff at the end.
Well, it's good. It's no wonder I was there the whole time saying, man, if this had just been a little bit shorter. But it was. They did shorten it. It's just we saw
the 10 minutes
the director's cut, so they had extra stuff in there.
Yeah, 10 minutes of extra stuff because, ours was an hour and 58 minutes. The initial one was 108 minutes, which makes it 148 minutes. An hour and 48 minutes, which
still a bit long in my opinion.
It needed to be an hour and a half to an hour and 20. Mm-hmm. There was a lot they could cut because it did get kind of slow at times.
Especially in the middle.
Dragged in the middle and stuff. It almost felt like they were just trying to put as much stuff in there to make a long movie, in case it got too short. So they made it longer, and then all of a sudden it became too long.
Yeah, the middle part where they kind of explored some of the relationship stuff, it all kind of lost a bit of steam, if you ask me.
I mean, I didn't mind some of that, but
some of it,
but you need a little bit of that because you need us to care about
little giggling condoms running around.
We need more of that.
Exactly, we need more of that.
We needed, but see, I get it. If it's really hard to sort of do that all the time, you know, or whatever.
Hard to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if it is, you know what I mean? Like,
that's true. I know.
I mean, we're lucky we got the condoms, you know, like we could see the condoms and the teeth and sometimes it bit dicks off and ran around and stuff
I
like
just
that.
have the DVD version. I don't have the 4K.
Yeah, the trauma version though, right? Like,
right.
You know. And so yeah, I believe what happened was Trauma bought it, and then Vinegar Syndrome bought out their library, at least good amount, like the ones probably that they thought people would really want.
But it looked great. I mean, the budget, I think we worked it out so it was like $2.25 million. That is a lot more than most trauma movies.
I know.
And
I'm surprised. I'm
surprised. It looked good.
I'm guessing that in '96, no other distribution company in America wanted this movie. You know, because it's just like you had to go with the people who would, especially in New York. You know, this is a New York movie. Though
6 days.
We were wondering why the hell did they make a movie in New York and yet have all the cast be German?
I know, it was so funny.
It was weird.
At one point, this one woman's talking about, I've got to get back to the Bronx. I'm like, yeah, clearly you're from the Bronx.
She could have been.
She could have been. But
I doubt it, though.
I don't think so.
No. And you said like 6 days, so I'm pretty sure the rest of it was shot in just Berlin stuff, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
So they were shooting stuff in Berlin.
But why not set it in Berlin? That's the thing I don't understand.
It's a German
comic
book.
Right.
I don't understand.
2 comic books.
And Germany would be into this stuff more than Americans anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get it. I just know that the director said, and we watched a little bit of Martin Walsh's interview or whatever, and he was talking about how he went to NYU and he, like, his family is in New York. His friends are in New York. He knows New York very well. That's why I guess he decided to set in New York. But like,
and I understand that, but in that case, get folks who speak English.
Yeah, and then they were saying the casting, they just picked, people they knew that were good actors,
and they were picking them up like 2 days before they were shooting, which to me, that. My head nearly exploded. I can't believe that.
That would drive you crazy.
Oh
right?
my god!
Like you would, if we were making a movie and I was like, all right, we have 2 days till there. Oh, let's grab that person.
I hate the fact that we don't even get to do rehearsals as much as I want, much less know who the hell's playing what part. 2 days before it's shot? Are you kidding?
Yeah, you don't get rehearsals unless you have a bigger movie or something.
Yeah, that's
their movie. I mean. $2 million nowadays, $2 million then would be like, I don't know, 6-8 million now.
Sure.
So
wish we had $2.25 million.
Yeah, wish we had. I wish we had a million. You know, like that would just that people think, oh man, if you had $1 million, you'd have more problems. No, we wouldn't. We would do the same movie except actually pay everybody and pay for better locations and do sets like they did. They had some amazing
prop people, proper everything.
They had amazing sets, and I mean, they looked great.
Well, he said that they took over a German production company that had sets there, it had a theater there, it had post production there, and they just took over the whole building. And clearly, they utilized it to their best ability, and that really shows, because great sets, and there were a lot of variations too. It wasn't the same thing over and over and over, and it wasn't just like they wandered onto whatever public building they could do, shot real quick and got out either.
No,
it was purposefully done, purposely set.
Well, the stuff in New York.
Well, New York.
New York. So they were talking. He was also talking about how apparently to get because you can't get permission to shoot police, outside police places. So what they would do is they'd have this Bavarian guy go into, it was like a skit they would do, and they would go into the police station, and the Bavarian guy would start speaking, or start saying stuff like, "Oh, I love this place," right? And start speaking in German.
Scammed him.
And the cops would ask, "What the hell are you guys doing here?" And they said, "Oh, we're shooting a documentary, and he just loves your thing. Do you mind if we shoot outside? And they would normally just say, sure, go really quick, and then they would do it, and they would get the shot, and then they would leave.
I mean, you can. It's just usually it's like people like CBS can do it, because like NYPD Blue, you always see like 5 seconds of a New York precinct, even though they're shooting it in
New York, was it, or Law and Order, all takes place in New York. Yeah, you're gonna see City Hall, you're gonna see those places, but you really need a permit to do that. So stuff like a Law and Order Special Victims Unit or something has the money to do that.
Right, and the clout.
And the clout, yeah, people will go. And plus, I mean, because I hate to say it, but like, especially in New York, cops don't want people looking at a movie and saying, oh, this is how New York cops are. They get really, I'm sure they get really furious. So they wouldn't want people just taking shots of their precinct and saying, oh, this is us,
But you can see, if you're deciding to set the movie in New York City, to actually go to New York City, clearly it was New York City. It adds so much to it. I look at a movie like Tim Kincaid's Breeders, which is one of my favorite stinky movies. And that was set in New York City, but it was shot in Toronto. And even though Toronto is also a big city, you could tell immediately that was not New York City, because in Toronto and Canada, everything is clean. And in New York City in the 80s, it was not clean. So you knew immediately it was not in New York City. It was just funny.
My favorite Friday the 13th is the one Jason Takes Manhattan, which most of it takes on a cruise. Then they get to Manhattan, and they're only actually in Manhattan for maybe 5 minutes, because even though the rest is set in Manhattan, the rest is shot in Vancouver.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper, and they were able to make it look like. I mean, I guess it didn't really matter.
See, now that would have been funny. Jason Takes Manhattan for 5 minutes.
Yeah, for 5 minutes. Then goes to Vancouver. I think it was Vancouver. It could have been Toronto, but I think it was Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver tends to stand in a lot for places too. It's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, and it's cheaper, than New York. New York, you have to pay for all these permits.
There's a great episode in the X-Files where they're supposed to be in Wilmington, Delaware, and there's the mountain in the background. I'm like, there's no mountains anywhere near Delaware.
Which is like, yeah, I mean, that's funny. So this movie, basically, I mean, as it said in here, there's this guy, Luigi Macaroni, he's a homosexual cop who, goes to this hotel quickie all the time. And, he messed around with a former cop who's now a transvestite.
Bob/Babette.
Well, yeah, you don't call him Bob anymore. He's Babette. Bobette, I think, or whatever. Babette. Whatever his name is. And he, or they, whatever, all those people. And he ends up hooking up with this guy, Billy, who calls him Cop the whole time. And, even though he knows his name.
Does. He likes calling him Cop.
He likes to call him Cop. And then they end up hooking up. And on that first hookup, apparently, Macaroni has a big dong. And we only see the shadow of it, or whatever.
Which was enough.
Yeah. We see a lot of his ass,
though. We see a lot of his butt, though.
Yeah. And then, so, in the movie, they put the condom on, and all of a sudden he gets bit. His balls get bit, apparently, and he loses one testicle to this little fucking.
Which is a little weird, because if I remember correctly, how you put on a condom, you'd think other parts would be bit first.
Right, your tip would probably be the worst. I don't even know how that works.
Like, I don't know how that works either.
No, I don't know how the killer condom works. We're putting it on, and then all of a sudden it can have teeth.
I mean, did he stick his dick in and his balls at the same time into the condom? Is that what happened?
Did he even put it on?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe he didn't put it on. We never see it.
We don't see it. I'm kind of glad.
Which I'm okay with. I'm okay. I don't need to see
it's a sex
Macaroni's
farce.
Macaroni.
Yeah, it's a sex farce, guys.
Yeah, but he gets
an LGBTQ plus positive sex farce.
Yes, very LGBTQ positive. I was hoping we didn't finish the whole interview with the director, but I was kind of hoping he would say something about his sexual orientation, if that was like a big part of why he did it. But
it seems a good 20, 25 years ahead of its time.
Yeah, we were saying that, but we'll get to that later. So his ball got bit or whatever, and so, but then that's how he discovers there's a fucking little condom, going around, like
flying around, giggling like the little killer donuts from Attack of the Killer Donuts, which I loved.
So yeah, we think they might have saw this movie and got inspired. But anyway,
needs Eric Roberts. We need the German Eric Roberts.
We just need Eric Roberts. But anyway, so they end up, basically the rest of the movie is Macaroni trying to figure out where these, little things came from, what's going on, why, and try to stop it. But does he really stop it?
Not really.
I didn't think he, destroyed all of them or something, right?
Not really.
Yeah, it would have been... Well, so what happened to the killer donuts?
In fact,
not killer donuts, killer condoms, sorry.
Nothing. The mad professor kind of gives up and throws herself into the water. And then
they don't even do anything.
They don't do anything, and then nothing happens after that.
Yeah. They see one condom left on the road, and he shoots it.
Yeah. Because
he was done being a cop at that time. And it's weird. It doesn't really... I don't know. It doesn't really have a ending. Your typical.
There you go. You could do a second pack, a sequel.
Yeah, I would prefer if they did a remake. Did a shorter remake, but American, and made it all about the LGBTQ stuff, like
Killer Condom 2, ribbed for your pleasure.
It is. I mean, you could do the remake because it is a comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another adaptation.
You'd have to get permission.
Right, you can just do it yourself.
And it was two. It was based on the Killer Condom comic, and then there was a sequel to it, and they took stuff from both.
Yeah.
So actually, if you were going to do it, you could either do a reboot, like you said, or if you wanted to do something more, try and find the artist or the comic book guy, and
maybe I can make more comics. I don't know. But I was now that I'm watching it, I knew it was a what the fuck kind of thing. I mean, right when we got it, once we started watching and we saw how everybody spoke German except for two ladies who spoke a foreign language. Foreign language.
That's what made it seem so surreal. Just everything is clearly New York City. And nobody is speaking English anywhere.
No. And they're all saying they're from the Bronx and stuff. You're like, so yeah, you're obviously from the Bronx. You're not a German person that's in America that's going back to Germany.
And the whole time I'm like, well, why didn't they just set this in Berlin? If they have German actors and a German stuff going on, they have cities that, you could have done it in Berlin.
Yeah, I really want to read the comic, man, because I wonder if the comic was set in New York, too. I
don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I haven't read it, so I don't know.
So maybe they did it because of that, or just because he does have that connection. He went to film school at NYC, and
he just knew everybody. So he said it felt, and he said that there was an American film crew that was there,
right?
That wasn't used to a director actually being there, directing them. They're used to them being back behind everybody else telling them what to do, like the first AD. Which he also said he was the second AD for a couple movies, and he hated it. He hated being one because it just wasn't his kind of thing. Which is great. I mean, you have to find what you're good at. If you're not good at that, maybe you're good at being a director, Everybody always says, you have to stop, you have to work, your way up, and that's not necessarily true these days. You can just go out and make your own movie.
Yeah.
And I think that was the spirit of
Make your own damn movie.
Exactly. I think that's why Stroma loved it, was Stroma could see the DIY in it, and everything and whatnot. I would love to, pick Lloyd's brain on his thoughts on this. When he saw this, he was like, it's shot in New York, or whatever,
Yeah, it's got the New York connection. It's all DIY. It's miles ahead of, like I said, production-wise, most movies that Troma has. And it's, a sex comedy, which Troma loves to do. So, there you go.
So I own the, and I still do somewhere, own the Cannibal the Musical DVD. And on it was like a trivia game for Troma. And it was like this awesome trivia game where if you got the answer right, you moved on to the next question. You didn't get the answer right, they would show you a clip from like a gory scene from one of their movies. One of them was Killer Condom.
Oh, nice.
Because I remember the condom falling on the ground going... Remember the scene where the guy's in the bathtub and everything, and then it falls on the ground, and then the thing looks up and goes, at him or whatever with his teeth. And I always thought that was scary a little bit, like, until I've seen the movie. I'm not terrified at all. I don't know. I'm not terrified. I think because I see the little hoppy ones going, and that kind of kills my scaredness.
It's
of it.
a little bit of mixed messaging too. I mean, it is supposed to be a farce, but at the same time, it's also kind of like bad messaging already against using condoms, which is a bad thing not to use, especially in the gay community, especially in the 90s, 80s, and 90s. Plus the assumption that when the one cop has to quote unquote dress gay, that automatically means the leather stuff. Like I said, just like in Cruising, they got a lot of shit for that.
Yeah.
Because that's such a stereotypical thing.
Here's the thing. So, in the hotel quickie, the guy sees Billy, right? He's not wearing a leather stuff. He's wearing like a tight shirt.
That says babe.
Does it say babe on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but anyway, still, I guess somebody saying that might say gay on it. But, if you're, when the guy says, I don't even know how to dress, gay, and then they give him that outfit, I'm like, that's not necessarily, you could do flamboyant, whatever, something.
But, really, the reality is that gay people don't dress any different than you and I. They look just like us. They look like regular people. They are regular people.
The whole point was to get intel from the gay community, right? Like, otherwise, what was that scene? What was the purpose of that scene?
It was supposed to be funny, I think.
But what was he doing there?
I'm not really sure, honestly.
I thought he was supposed to get intel on the condoms down there. Maybe somebody knew.
Yes, but the condoms weren't there. Their condoms were at the hotel.
Right, but maybe somebody there knew. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise, because they even said we need a cop to go down there to whatever. Right?
Because some of the incidents happened in the gay. He said the quote unquote gay scene.
Right. So then he was like,
not the S&M scene, the gay scene.
They said you can't go, Macaroni, because the people know you're a cop.
Face. Yeah.
They know you're a cop, and so they won't talk to you, I guess. Which they didn't talk to him either, because freaking Macaroni tells him to put some kind of
yellow hanky
into his back pocket, which was supposed to mean I had sex last night and I don't want any more or something. And then it turned out it meant piss on his leg.
Urine play.
Yeah, which was so fucking weird. I don't know. I was like,
I don't know. It was a little bit of mixed messages. I think a few things would have been cleaned up and tightened up and more modernized if you were doing it today.
I did like the ending and the idea that it was that the unleashing of the killer condoms was to destroy the gay community, because they were like Sodom and Gomorrah to this woman who thinks that Christ is coming back right now. And we still have crazy people who think like, oh my God, Christ is coming back, so I need to get rid of all these people. And the idea of what the guy said is that, like, if you really truly believe in, Christ and Christ's messages and stuff like that, he wants people to just be who they are and stuff like that.
People who have love in their heart.
Yeah, have love in their heart, not hate. And so it was a really good message at the end about what, and you were even like, oh, here comes the moral of the story,
right.
Basically. And the moral of the story basically was, let people just be who they are and let them do what they're going to do. What they're going to do. It's not your business to.
The thing is, 25 years ago, it took an independent film to do that, an independent European film to do that. Today, you're getting some of that finally getting into Hollywood, but it took all that time. You know what I mean?
And that's funny because this movie wasn't that popular back then. Mm-mm. And I mean, the only way it's popular now is because like Vinegar Syndrome put it out, and people who follow Vinegar Syndrome might be like, "What is this?" There's this filmmaker, or not filmmaker, but maybe he's a filmmaker. I don't know, but he's a YouTube host, and he does. It's called Mid-Level Media, and Kenny talks about Vinegar Syndrome a lot, and the stuff he likes isn't the stuff we like, and I think he doesn't like that Vinegar Syndrome puts that out necessarily, but I think he understands it because that's where they started from. They started with trauma. They started this stuff, but now they do stuff like I'm getting showgirls, come to me, the 4K of showgirls, and everything. I'm doing that for Hollywood Knockbusters at some point.
Joe Esterhausen.
Yeah, and what is it? So but there's also like Roadhouse. There's there's what's it? You don't like your Patrick Swayze. There's Beastmaster. Things like that are bigger movies. Bigger in quality. We did. I guess we could say it, even though it isn't out yet. You guys would get a sneak peek if you watch this. All the way over to this point, anyway. Sidekicks, we did Sidekicks. That was a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. So they're putting out more popular sort of movies, but they're still not the high quality. Like they're not like Breakfast Club or something.
Somebody else has the rights to that. They're not going to get the rights to those.
And they don't want. They're not. They're trying to keep the ones that. Salvage the movies that nobody else wants to do.
Because there's money and nostalgia.
There's money in that, and there's also, and for us, seeing Killer Condom, like you might be like, if you had wanted to buy it, you'd be like, I want to buy it because, I remember this from when I bought it rented from the video store. I want to keep it so I can watch it if I want to.
And
if I want to upgrade my DVD.
Really, really good in Blu-ray. I have to say, certain aspects really stood out. Like he talked about that one scene where they're standing in the street, and it really did look like a green screen or like a projection back screen, and then he walks into it.
Yeah, so meaning it wasn't. So
it wasn't, but it looked like it, and the Blu-ray part made that stand out even more. So it's even more of a really good shot. Now the bad part is that you could also pick up all the makeup on all the actors, including the men. And it just really stood out as opposed to blending in, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the DVD or VHS of the movie. You're not gonna notice any of that stuff because it's so, so grimy or whatever. And then all of a sudden, when they clean it up, make it look good or smoother, then it's gonna pick up on that stuff.
The clarity isn't always your friend.
And imagine on 4K, that makeup even crazier, But that's just it. I like my 4K. I like my Blu-rays. I watched 3 Days of the Condor recently, and I loved it. Fucking loved it. But it was a 4K of it from Kino, and honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. Right. Then I watched Manchurian Candidate from Kino on Blu-ray.
The original?
The original.
Yeah, that's great.
And that looked beautiful. Smooth. Everything was whatever. But for some reason, 3 Days of Condor still seemed kind of grimy. And maybe that was the thing. So this movie felt a little smooth. But I bet if I watch this on my 4K player and everything, it's going to look even smoother and everything. Even the Blu-ray will pop like that. So I don't know. I liked what I saw of it. I think that...
I mean, you were practically seeing the strings on the condoms moving them.
Probably, yeah. But I try not to notice that stuff. Like, and I don't even do it like... I do that, like, period. I don't try to notice
I don't try. It just happens. I can't
know.
help it. My brain is set up that way.
Also, I think your eyes are set up that way. My eyes are not.
This is what happens when you're an archaeologist and you're looking at the ground and you're looking for patterns, for artifacts, and it makes it pop out.
And you gotta look for dirt and all these other things for it and stuff. And I'm not. That's not me. You see the background, like you notice that one thing in the background that it looked like cereal or something.
Oh yeah,
and I wasn't even looking at that until you pointed it out.
What the hell's in that thing?
The bucket or whatever at the hotel was
I think
lobby.
they were nuts. It was just really weird.
I thought it looked like Cheerios.
Cereal or just weird, yeah.
Cheerios or something. I don't know. But it was like it was something that I guess they would pour out and you would get like a bucket of nuts or whatever it was. And so it was at the hotel quickie lobby, like the check-in and stuff, and we were just like, what is that? But if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have picked that up.
There's just certain things. It's just like I'll never forget watching Fungicide the first time when they go down into the basement and the guy has like a receipt nailed to the wall. And it's like, why is there a receipt nailed to the wall? And they're like, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, it's like right there.
I know, and like I think me and Jim were like, what? Like, like yeah.
But then you think about it, it's like, why isn't the receipt nailed to the wall? It's just weird.
It is weird, but maybe that had to be something that was already there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, I don't think they put that there as like,
no.
I bet Paul is gonna.
Well, and that's just it. There are some people that just they set up, they shoot, and whatever's in the background they don't care.
Right.
And then there's the other people who everything is in there for a reason. You know what I mean?
I mean, in this movie, you would think that that's the case because it almost was like that. Up until like, why was there nuts there?
Right.
Like
Well,
nobody ever used them.
Again, they had control of all those sets. They could have done whatever they wanted. So that's different. Usually, when we're talking about folks, they're either home, somebody else's house.
I'm still saying
they don't have control over it.
I gotta listen to the commentary or something. Maybe they say something about the nuts or whatever that is because like it's driving me nuts now. I don't know what it is.
Get him on the phone.
You know, I'll be like, Martin. What was it? And you'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, probably.
You're nuts. And I'm like, damn. But yeah. So let me give you guys a little heads up of what's on here and stuff. So it contains the 118-minute director's cut of Killer Condom. This is what we watched. This is on the 4K disc too. So presented HDR, newly restored from its 35 millimeter original camera negative with the following sound options: original German 2.0 stereo soundtrack with optional newly translated English subtitles, and a brand new commentary track with co-writer director Martin Walls and special effects supervisor. So you get the guy too, Jorg, but the better Bouguerie or whatever. I don't know how to say his name. Bouguerie. Is that how you say it?
I don't remember.
The guy who did.
Yeah, I know. I have to look at his name.
Jorg Bouguerie or something like that. It's that Butt.
George. It's George. It's
George.
It's the German version of George, and it's Buttgereit. I think.
All right. And then also included are 2 Blu-ray discs. Blu-ray 1 contains everything on the UHD disc, plus the following special features. So we watched A Rough Ride.
Part of it.
Part of it. We didn't finish it. I think it was a 30-minute long or so. It was pretty long for a little interview. A brand new interview with co-writer, director Martin Walls. This Is What We Built, a brand new show and tell with co-writer, director Martin Walls. Severed, so show and tell, I'm guessing is showed and told where all the special effects stuff with the everything, how he did everything. Severed Parts, a brand new interview with special effects supervisor George. Rubber and Rushes, a brand new interview with editor Simone Clear. So then Blu-ray Disc 2 contains the 108-minute theatrical cut of... I'm glad we watched the director's cut because I don't think we would have seen the director's cut on the VHS or on your DVD, right?
I'm wondering now if they're going to start putting out some of George's movies. That would be great.
Maybe, or maybe they already have. I don't know.
Romantique 1 and 2 and Der Toten King and a few others. They're pretty extreme stuff. Then he's also gone on and done more mainstream stuff too.
All right, the sound options are original 5.1 surround and 2.0 stereo tracks with option newly translated English subtitles and an archival commentary track with co-writer director Martin Wallace. Okay, so there's an archival one too. So there's 2 different commentary tracks you can listen to. Plus the following special features: Holy Macaroni, a brand new interview with co-writer director Martin Wallace and actor Udo Samuel. What special? What is this? A brand new interview with actor Adriana Altaras. It's just a movie. A brand new interview with actor Peter Lomare. Really special items. A brand new interview with prop collector Roman Gittering. Ich hat's im Versagen Sollen, a 2003 short film directed by Martin Wallace.
Yep, there you go. Do it for a short film.
Yeah, we could. We might be able to. Archival making a featurette. Behind the scenes footage. Archival on set interviews. Would you use this condom? Archival featurette. And original theatrical trailer. And original video trailer. Also on here, so you look at that. Here, you got that. You got that. And then, guess what? Whoop. Just lost the disc.
Guess what? You dropped your disc.
I know. Is
yeah.
It's got a reversible slip.
That green one's the one that I have.
Yeah, and it's got the green one is like done like a condom, but a like cartoon.
I will say, free condoms in a hotel sounds like a very European thing. That doesn't sound like a very New York
thing. I don't think New York...
They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't care that much. Good God, what? I'm having more difficult just putting it back in.
That's what she said.
No, Lord. That's all I'm getting all day today, guys. Let's get used to hearing that crap. All right.
He's setting me up. I'm
just knocking them out.
Knocking them down.
The 4K disc is the one that fell, so damn. And that's the one you want to keep. But yeah, that's it. That's I guess that's it for this thing.
It's a fun little movie. I liked it. I do think it's a little overlong, even the more streamlined version. And I do have a couple of little mini nitpicky things about it, but it's still cute. It's still fun. You gotta root for the little
tiny condoms going.
You gotta root for them running around chewing on people.
You know, but I mean,
it's got a good message.
What I don't is like, you know, let the gay community have their fun.
Sure.
Why, you know, if they're wearing condoms, that's a good thing, right? Yeah. You know, that's
not hurting anybody.
Well, the condoms are. The killer condoms are. All right. Well, that's about it. I had a fun time with this one. We have one more episode coming, I think, this year with Paul. Paul's the last one of the season, and then we'll be back in March for a brand new year, I think.
And I already know which one I'm doing.
Oh God, he already did Gummo. I thought Gummo would have been your last, your last big one, but. Apparently not. Apparently he has one more up his sleeve.
Oh, I got a lot more than one.
I know, but for a finale too, I'm sure. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. This is one we couldn't show Jen, right?
I think she could have been okay. I think she would have been more concerned about the length of it.
The length, yeah, and then maybe
the girth.
Yeah, and maybe even the I mean, I don't think she would not want to see his butt the whole time. You know, she'd be like, because we'll be like, see, we let you have butts, and she'd be like, that's not the kind of butts I want. It's like a Tommy Wiseau butt. But we love you, Udo. We thought you did a great job. We thought everybody did a great job in the movie.
Oh yeah, the acting was great.
Oh, the last thing I'll say real quick is Vinegar Syndrome. If you're listening, which you probably aren't, but if you're listening, please, for the love of God, fix your subtitles. We could barely read them and stuff. Like they were blending in with the background.
They need to be red or purple or something that stands out.
Something that stands out. They were too small and they were too. They just blended into the background, which, I mean, whatever. I mean, you didn't really need. You could kind of get the drift of what was going on most of the time, but still.
Yeah, apparently there's no German word for okay.
And there's no German word for a few things. They said a few things, and I was like, really?
Penis.
Yeah. They were saying a few things, and I was like, okay, that's American.
I do love the fact that apparently the word schmutzy is dirty. So schmutzy, dirty.
Schmutz is dirty. And Germany.
Because I've been using the word schmutz, I never knew that's what it meant.
That sounded like, I thought I was more Yiddish or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But apparently not.
But a lot of Yiddish does have German roots.
Okay, so. Maybe. Okay. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this, and check us out next month for Paul's episode, where I have no idea what he's going to torture me with, but it'll be torture, most likely.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It always is. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
You schmutzy little man, you.